Welcome to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
Is that something that you would recommend for almost anyone? Like even if someone is relatively healthy, but they would just like to boost their immune system, is that a viable option? Or how about people with more autoimmune issues? Is that a good option that they should consider as well?
Well, not to sound like a broken record, but when we see a patient with any particular diagnosis, autoimmune, for example, there are a number of considerations, and I would say that you have absolutely nothing to lose and possibly everything to gain from using intravenous vitamin C for a chronic illness. But that's not to say that would be the very first thing I would be doing.
Okay, sure. Back to the level of acid in urine. That's interesting. You mentioned about 6.5. And again, what was the measurement there?
So pH runs from 1 to 14. 1 is extreme acid, 14 is extreme alkaline, and the pH of the blood, for example, is about 7.4, might be 7.41, I don't know.
Okay.
But the priority of the body, by the way, and this is to me just fascinating and inspiring how the whole human organism works. The body is like a battery that has a plus and minus pole, like a flashlight battery, except in body language, one of the poles is acid and the other is alkaline. And if you don't have those balanced, then you are not going to be long for this world. But the body is so incredibly equipped with systems to maintain that pH that it will do anything to do that, to accomplish that. So, for example, if the bloodstream starts to become too acidic and the tissues start to become too acidic, the body will pull alkaline minerals out of wherever they're stored up to neutralize that excess acid. So now where do you think the alkaline minerals in the body are stored?
Oh, I have no idea.
The bones.
Oh.
Calcium, magnesium.
Oh, wow.
Calcium, magnesium are the powerful alkaline minerals, which is why so many people have osteopenia and osteoporosis, because our bodies are too acidic. The body says, in the body's own words, so to speak, I don't care if I have no bones, but I want to stay alive.
Wow. And it pulls the alkaline value out of your bones.
Calcium, magnesium pulls them out to neutralize the excess acid. And so you end up with thin bones.
Wow.
So if people are drinking coffee and soft drinks and foods that are promoting acidity in the body, animal products are all acid forming.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So if you're going to have eggs and coffee for breakfast and maybe chicken sandwich and a Coke for lunch and maybe, a steak and another Coke for dinner, acid, 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 and acid.
Interesting. Okay. So let me ask you this. I offered you an espresso before the show, and but this is, and that's largely what I drink now. I have just an espresso in the morning and one in the afternoon. But right now I'm drinking a cup of black coffee from the coffee shop across the street. And I don't drink much coffee anymore, although I'm enjoying this. But this is on a relatively empty stomach. And it feels, when I drink coffee in the afternoon, without fail, it feels a little bit acidic in my stomach. And I don't know. It sounds like maybe that's actually what's happening. And I don't know what acid's supposed to feel like, but that's what it feels a little bit like. That's because coffee is acidic. Is that what's going on here?
Well, it creates acidity in the body. So I don't know that much about the chemistry of coffee because I'm just interested in health. And so I know that it has an acidifying effect on body chemistry.
Okay, interesting. So let me give you this other bit of information before I ask the question, which is that I've been on the Carnivore Diet since April. So I only eat red meat and eggs.
Yeah, lots of people are
and
doing
yogurt.
that. Yeah.
But then I'm also having 2 Nespressos a day, so it sounds like I am pumping a lot of things into my body that's creating a high level of acid. Now, in defense of what I'm eating, I feel better than I've ever had. I just got blood work done. I'm the healthiest, at least per the blood work. than I've been in 4 years. So it's sort of working for me. And I understand this is probably different for different people, but is there something that I should be doing to give my body more, I don't know what you call it, a more alkaline or something, so that my body is not robbing my bones of alkaline, which doesn't sound like a good thing to have happen.
That's correct. And you are amongst, I don't know how many millions of people who feel better when they get on an animal product diet. There's a famous doctor named Robert Atkins, who's passed away now, but he wrote books, and the Atkins diet was very, very famous for a number of years. And the whole idea was cut out all the carbohydrates and you'll be healthier. And I think that at best is something of very short-term value.
Okay.
However, in the long run, this will not be a good thing for your body, and you won't immediately. You can probably go for quite a while on a purely animal product diet and be okay without noticing anything. You'll probably feel better because you're having difficulty processing carbohydrates. And so it is something that is appreciated, and it's functional on a temporary basis. Our bodies are not designed to feed on an animal product diet. Our bodies are most similar to our nearest evolutionary relatives. And I'm often, when I attempt to bring into someone the idea of moving towards plants rather than animals, the first question I get is, well, where am I going to get protein from?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my estimation, our nation has an obsession, if not a brainwashing, about protein, about more protein is better and carbohydrates are bad. If carbohydrates are defined as refined sugars and soft drinks, well, of course, that's
terrible.
Right. However, that's really not the total definition of carbohydrates, as many of us know. And so I've lost my train of thought.
Protein and brainwashing of protein and so forth.
Thank you. So people are routinely asking where they're going to get protein from. The protein needs of the body are not nearly what people think they are. Thinking about how many grams of protein you need. I've never I'm only one person. I've never measured grams of protein in my diet in the last 67 years. So our protein needs are minimal. And when a person asks me that, I immediately ask them, so let's look at some of the biggest, strongest animals on the earth. Elephants, rhinoceroses, gorillas. Well, where are they getting their protein? They're not eating any animals. Mm-hmm. They're not eating eggs for breakfast. They're not, not doing any of that stuff. And they're the biggest, strongest, most muscular creatures on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole thing about animal products for protein is complete myth.